Hey, Kat. It's Gerald. Name So, I have been working on my Last Supper socks, which we have affectionately been named because of the Last Supper box that I have them in. And they're using the Evil Genius sock pattern, or Evil Sock Genius lessons, which I should probably get from your Armando. And I was actually working in. It's pretty cool because I am now working on the heel flap. Sorry, I'm working on the heel flap, and I'm just doing the stitches as I normally would. And I got all panicky because I was like going, "Oh my God, I've done too many decreases," and it was just crazy. But guess what I learned? It helps when you read directions, and it helps when you reread directions. Well, let me own that. It helps when I read direction, and it helps when I reread directions. Because while I thought I was doing too many rows of heel flap stitches, I was indeed not doing that too many of them. And I was able, with your help, to figure out what I was doing with the gusset stitches with the toe up, and I actually think I get it. So I wanted to share that with you. So I've got I've got four more sets of decreases to eat up all of the gusset stitches, and then I can just go to town. But this is all the yarn I have left on this one. They're going to be pretty short socks. Now, here's the question that I have for you. I have this beautiful sock and its mate, which is also beautiful. Okay, see those? Nice. They don't really match. But I'm trying to decide, what do I do? Do I just make them short socks? Or I have some yarn in the same type of yarn. It's the Neuro Curion sock. I have some natural browns and some grays and tan and gray. Do I use those? Do I just, when I stop, just knit up and then make a full pair of socks? Or do I make a short pair of socks? I don't know. What do you think? It's just one of those things that I'm like going, I need another opinion. And since I didn't get a chance to see you last night, I thought I would ask. So, I don't know. I mean, I do think that this pattern is quite good, and I am probably going to knit it actually I'm already starting to knit it on using Magic Loop. And I think it may just be easier on Magic Loop, but I'll see. And now with that sock, which I don't have right here in the room with me, I knit too many toe increases, so it actually went over all four toes rather than just four. So I tinked back 2 rows. I use that word tink, and I was listening to the Away with Words podcast, which is an NPR program where they talk about words, and it's a lot of fun, and I know how much you like words. And one of the episodes, they were talking about words associated with crafts, and if there were any words that we had in knitting that I could call in and share with them. What do you think about that? Any knitting craft slang words? And the one that I was thinking of was tink, which is of course knitting backwards, because tink is knit spelled backwards. I've recently heard on the Jimmy Bean's Wool podcast about going backwards, purling. They were actually calling that lerp. That's not exactly quite right, because purl backwards is LRUP, and I don't know how to pronounce that. Do you know how to pronounce that? We have dogs that are going. So there's also, and I know that there's the book of the language of knitting, and I haven't looked at that. And to be honest with you, I can't remember the name of it. Do you remember the name of that? But I think one of the other fun ones is frogging, the slang that we have for when we rip back a fair distance on a sweater. We call it frogging because we have to rip it like a frog, rip it. Anyhow, I know you love words, and I'm going to put a link in the show notes about the Away with Words podcast. It's quite fun. Yeah, it's about an hour's long, but they do some, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, etymology of words. That sounds not right. Etymology? You may want to have to get your talking head of me out, the puppet, and explain this to me. So, love to see you do a post. Take care. Bye.